Hello there, Pahrump. I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host of the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, and this is a live show, and the call-in number should be below there, 727-8750. And it's kind of unusual because I've had probably lately more of the rerun shows than I have of the live shows, so I know some of the dedicated audience like Ray and people like that ask a lot of questions, wait to see if it's a live show to call in. But that being said, this is live. So if you do and want to call in, that number is listed below. Before I went on vacation for a week, I ran through I had an abbreviated segment on the show. And in that show, we were talking a little bit about some of the newest information that I had discovered about weight gain and obesity and diabetes and a lot of the other things that plague society today. And let's see, we have Marvin on the phone. Marvin, are you there?
I am.
Great. What can I do for you?
Dr. Reiner.
Marvin, are you there?
I am.
I'm here.
Oh, you're doing a delay, huh? Okay, I got a question for you. What do you charge for Senior Dimension to do an ultrasound?
Okay, I got a question for you. What do you charge for?
What was that? I need to turn the sound up a little bit. I can't. You want to know about an ultrasound for Senior Dimensions?
Yeah, in your office.
Well, we do have the capabilities of doing the ultrasound in the office, but we had a hard drive crash on the ultrasound, so we're trying to get that fixed before we pick that up. In the meantime, those ultrasounds are having to be done at the hospital until we can get that squared away.
Yeah, but through Senior Dimension, it costs $50 to go over there. What do you charge in your office?
Yeah, I lost the sound there, but we're having a... What was that?
What do you charge in your office?
For an ultrasound?
Yes.
Well, it depends on what kind of ultrasound it is, and there are allowable charges that we charge based on Medicare rates. I don't know those numbers off the top of my head because they are pretty much set by what Medicare allows us to charge. I mean, we could charge whatever we want, but Medicare only pays so much, and insurance companies only pay what Medicare pays.
I had an aneurysm that ruptured. This is why I'm asking you. Is VA requests that I do an ultrasound every year?
They require him to do an ultrasound every year?
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't
when
know.
I joined Senior Dimension, well, your office told me they do an ultrasound there. It's been going on for 5 weeks now. They keep canceling me.
Well, you know, Marvin, what we're having is some technical difficulties with the sound on coming through the speaker. So while the producer tries to fix that, and I can hear you way off in the distance because you're talking on another speaker, so I'm going to have to, if you would call back, it may be in the next segment after a commercial break, maybe I can answer that question a little more effectively and have the producer have a chance to try and fix what trouble I'm having hearing you. Would that be okay?
No, I'm not speaking on another speaker. I'm speaking on this landline phone.
Okay. Okay, well, hang on a second. We're going to try and figure that out for you. Okay, well, anyway, that being said, for all the other viewers that are not on this particular call, we were talking about some of the things that we ran through on the end of that brief segment were related to diabetes and obviously weight gain. And it was very useful information. It was quite enlightening for me, who had been following diabetes and treating diabetes for years, and knowing what I know and knowing this new information, it really shed a lot of light. I preached a lot about having some type of activity after you eat. Most of us one of the cardinal sins we do is that we eat and we sit. And when we sit, we basically are allowing our body to absorb the nutrients that we take. And there's a lot of reason why we sit after we eat. Number one, most of the blood goes from our stomach, from our peripheral circulation to our splanchnic bed, and that picks up some of those nutrients, and so that means we'll feel tired because we have less blood circulation. We also will notice that we have a little bit of high blood pressure after we eat. In fact, you're not supposed to check your blood pressure after you eat, and this is related to insulin and some of the other factors that take place with eating. So, but it's that actual, those nutrients that our body is trying to absorb and processing that is causing us the extreme difficulty with developing diabetes and weight gain. So looks like we have Ray on the phone. Ray, are you there?
Yes, I am, Doc. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Hey, the problem with Marvin, he had his TV on, and I could hear the TV going on my set here. So that was the problem. You couldn't hear him because it was like one is fighting the other.
Okay.
If he shuts his TV off and he calls back, he probably won't have any problem. You can hear me okay, right?
Absolutely.
All right. My question is about addiction. I watch it every day in court. I've been watching it for 13 years. And I know that people who are hooked on heroin, they can usually go for methadone. It's on a daily basis. I know somebody that goes to Henderson every morning to get methadone. I don't know why they don't try to get off of the methadones too, but I guess it's addiction. And the second thing is if they're on oxycodone, there's something called Suboxone. And very few doctors really offer it. And I'm wondering why, because it really works. I know people, I sat in on suicide watches for people that were on the oxys and they ran out of them. When they got on Suboxone, they were able to wean off of the oxys after a point in time. So could you explain why more doctors aren't available for the Suboxone, and also explain the methadone? I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
And then I'll hang up and let Marvin get back in.
Okay. Well, I'll do my best. We're going to go to break in about 5 minutes, and I will try and explain as much as I can. The deal with Suboxone is you have to have a special training program because of I believe it's an opioid antagonist, agonist, so it means it works with and against the receptors. And so a lot of people don't want to take the time to take the necessary course or whatever they need to do to be able. You have to have a writer on your DEA license to be able to prescribe Suboxone, and so people take the time. I know Dr. Andraki is probably the only doctor in town that I know about that's licensed to be able to prescribe Suboxone. So if you are addicted to oxycodone, and remember the definition of addiction is doing something despite the negative consequence of the action. So with that being said, if you're doing something illegal to get the oxycodone, or if whatever that activity is, or if you're not taking it as prescribed, and you want to get off of that train, then you probably will want to go see Dr. Andraki with that. So that's the difference of Suboxone, and like I said, I don't prescribe it, so I really couldn't dwell or give you much more information on that particular thing. But the fact that you sit on the court, Ray, and you notice that it does work, I think that should be information if some of the viewers on the thing are watching. But it's more than just medication. An addiction is such a deep-rooted selfism. I mean, alcoholism, any type of addiction, whether it be gambling, whether it be food, whether it be smoking, whether it be drugs. All of these things are self-involuted behaviors where people get lost in this activity and it consumes their entire life. So, there's a nice bleed off between, drugs, alcohol, smoking into every addiction. And so not only do you have to have drugs, but you should have an NA program, Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous. Those programs, those 12-step programs really do work, but you have to work it. You have to want to quit the problem that you've got. And, you know, there's nothing that'll mess up an addiction worse than knowing there's a cure. And I know a lot of people that have gone to 12-step programs that have kicked a lot of their illnesses and a lot of their diseases. And I've often heard it said that if a person with HIV all he had to do to cure the HIV was to go to a meeting a day, there would be a lot of meetings, and the HIV people would never miss that meeting. Well, that's true for alcoholics and any type of deadly addiction. That, I mean, if you really did do that, you could beat that disease. And alcoholism still kills more people per year, and drug addiction kills more people per year than HIV. So that being said, I mean, those pills and the medical side of it is very nice that people can withdraw from their addiction and from the physical addiction that they have, but it's the mental strife that they go through with the feelings of selflessness, not feeling useful, those types of things that have to be dealt with. And that's where you need help. That's where the strength in numbers and the 12-step programs really do help. So I would encourage anybody to seek out Dr. Andraki if you have that problem. And we're going to go to break, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the methadone side of that problem when we come back. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host of the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, a TV show that airs Monday night on Channel 46. I want to remind you that I am a practicing physician in Pahrump, and I'm an independent practitioner, which means I am not bought by any insurance company or corporate medicine. We provide the highest level of care. We have nurse practitioners. We have other physicians, specialists who come to our office. Please come visit me. I'm at 1316 East Calvada here in the heart of Pahrump. Thank you.